This new episode of the SuccessGrid podcast with your host Hussein Talib. In this episode, I have with me Liz Cortez. She was a fitness influencer, which is amazing. And she turned out to be working now into a full-time job into Rebel Fish Local with her husband. They help small businesses get more traffic with local SEO and help them get more clients by implementing story brands, copywriting into their website, and convert them into clients. Les, welcome to the SuccessGrid podcast.
How are you saying? Thanks for having me on. Good to be here.
Awesome to have you here. So, Liz, first of all, let me get this one. You started as a fitness influencer back 7 years ago, which is something I assume that is a good place to be. And you changed that with your husband to work, basically starting your own business for local businesses, providing them with SEO services. So why did that happen?
So that's what I went to school for, is exercise science. And then I got a second degree in nutrition dietetics because I knew to help people lose weight, you need to exercise and nutrition. There's all kinds of things. And I went down that path, opened up a local business. My husband, he also had local businesses. So when we say local, you're looking for clients in your city. They don't want to drive more than 10 minutes. Typically, they want someone local in their city. So his background, he had cell phone stores, he had restaurants, he had multiple brick and mortar businesses. And I went online doing all the online marketing stuff in 2009, but I developed chronic pain because I was working way too many hours. I was doing too many sports. I was just go, burning both ends of the candle, which a lot of business owners do. I mean, even now, like some people are homeschooling their kids and you're working a full-time job and you're building an online business on the side. And so I had burnout, and the burnout showed up as chronic pain that did not go away for 7 years. It finally went away this past spring. Thank goodness. I'm so thankful. But 7 years. So that was a big reason, because I kept at the gym. People are like, are you pregnant? You're gaining weight? Like, why aren't you doing the exercise? Why can't you show me this? And they didn't understand the chronic pain. And they're like, that's just in your head. And I just felt like I need to pull back. And we already had this vision for our marketing agency. And I felt like building two different businesses when one is just not working and I need to work on my own health. I felt like, let's close that down and put the hours that I was able to work inside our company and build that. And I'm so thankful I made that decision. It was the hardest decision I ever made because my identity was in my fitness and health and strength and all the things I used to do. And that's not where your identity should be. It shouldn't be in your job or something that you do. Like, you're a human, like you're unique and special. Like, it shouldn't be based on your performance. So close that down. And now 7 years later, I'm just so thankful I made that decision.
So when did you start with your husband? Did you think that what are my chances of success in this one? Did you know a lot about this space?
Yeah, so it was always my dream to work with my spouse, even before I was married. Really? That was my dream. Yes, okay. I know. So many people say I could never work with my spouse. That's crazy. Like, I'm thankful for my job, or I'm thankful that my kids go to school. Like, I can't be around them all the time. But that was my dream before I met him. So when I was dating people before him, that was one of the qualities. I wanted us to be entrepreneurial and want to do something together. And so that was one thing. I did have a background in online marketing because in 2009, I started working with online marketers and took a local business online. So learned how to do the funnels and website and blogging and YouTube, and Instagram wasn't even out back then. Like, the social media was like Facebook. So I built up a Facebook page to 70,000 likes on it. Like, I built out all YouTube video, all those things. And then I had online courses and memberships, all the things. So I did that. So I did have a background in online marketing. And then we got advice from a friend, and she said, instead of you guys just opening up your own agency, why don't you go work for another agency help them build theirs, learn all the systems, what works, what doesn't work, and do that first. So I'm so glad we did that. We helped grow that agency from making like 40,000 a month to 65,000 a month just in
Okay,
like
awesome.
3 months. It was really quick. We learned their systems, but the problem is the owner gambled away all that money around Christmas time and let go of half of his company. So he let go of us salespeople. And so that was a total bummer, but it also was a blessing because we had this vision to have our own agency anyway. So what a perfect time to break away and just be pushed out of the nest and go and do something. So it was scary, but both of us are entrepreneurs. So we were up for the challenge and we just grew slowly every month and took care of our clients.
Yeah, awesome. So when you took the sleep from working with for another people when they slept and you went working for yourself with your husband. So what is the one thing do you think that the most important thing that you focused on to reach where you are now?
I'd say the number one thing is relationships. That's what the R in Rebelfish is our core value, is our Rebel core values. And the R's for relationships matter. I think that is what has helped us so much because relationships matter. And the E, one of the E's in Rebelfish is everyone wins. Those two core values help us make decisions, whether it's hiring, whether it's taking care of clients, whether it's say no to a project of them hiring us, even though they want to work with us so bad, because I think they'd be a better fit with someone else. Like I did that on Friday. It was going to be a huge project, but I knew my other friend's agency, I just knew they'd be a better fit over there. And so I think that instead of being as focused on the money is great. You know, working from home and having freedom to being debt free, like all that stuff is great, but it's the relationships that we've built. I think that is what has made the biggest difference in our success.
Yeah, that's definitely a game changer because like nowadays with your business, there are a lot of similar business like yours, and there's a lot of similar businesses to other businesses. So people when they do want to create content for their website, write blog posts, these things are basically sometimes not in their control. But what you can control is having good relationship with people who can help you out, build your business and grow with time. So do you think that if someone now wants to start an online business, an entrepreneur wants to start an online business, someone wants to quit their job, for example, should they focus on building relationship first, do you think, or should they like what we are seeing now, start creating content online, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, or whatever?
We've had clients that, like, say it's like a doctor's, like a medical practice, and they've wanted to branch out on their own. And they're like, so it can be tricky if you are working for a company and you're creating something that's similar to where you are now, that company may not like that. You may have a non-compete, an NDA or something, like saying for 2 years, you won't work with clients. So first check your contracts and see what is the agreement. In our case, everyone we hire, their goal is to have their own agency. Now, has anyone we've hired the past 7 years actually created their own agency? No, but that was their goal. But to have an agency is really hard work. It's a lot. It's not just easy and you make all this cash. And so I think as you're planning, you have to first know, what does your employer, how are they going to be? Hopefully your employer is cool and wants just the best for you and knows that you're there just for a period of time. You're not going to be there for 20 years and retire. Most likely people move jobs, I don't know, every five years, 10 years. Not many people stay. And I'm hearing that it's even worse right now. I'm hearing what I heard on the news the other day is that people are working their job and they're working remotely, but they're doing the minimum. They're doing their hours, but they're doing the minimum and they're spacing out their work So they're getting paid, but then they start building something on the side. And I don't think that's cool. I think if you are working for a company, be focused, do your best job at that company, and don't steal from the company by working on your business during those hours or dragging out a project so you get fired or whatever happens. I'm seeing that is something that is going on. It's like, I think you need to do your best at whatever you're doing. And it is scary. I have friends that have quit their jobs to start their own business. They maybe had a bunch of vacation days saved up where they could take off 2 months because they never took time off. So they built up all these vacation days. And so they're like, I'm going to build a business and launch it in 2 months. And I didn't really see any of them make it happen. But the ones that were the most successful, that had jobs, they kept their job, or maybe they pulled back to part-time if that worked for their family, but they kept their job until their income was matching what they made. Now, we didn't have that luxury. We got let go. We needed to pay our bills within 2 weeks. And back then we did have debt. So if you do have debt or student loans, it could be harder for you to quit your job. That's scary, and only rely on other people paying you, or you're doing marketing or social media making it work. And so I think it's scary, and it depends on your family and what you do. But I think the best route is keep your job and then work extra hours on the side. If it's 5 or 10 hours a week, I think that will
like the reason that you mentioned, because of COVID-19, I believe that companies, especially big corporations, this is what I'm seeing. I know that they wanted to cut costs because they saw that they can do a lot of jobs remotely, and this remote things with their employees, they saw that there is an opportunity for them to decrease the costs, to put more work on the employees for the same employees they already have, and cut employees from other places. So this is what happens to big companies. But anyways, so online businesses, how or what are the best online marketing strategies that they are effective in this day now in 2022?
Yes, whether you're online or local, you can always have a Google business profile. So most people think those are only for local businesses, that you have a physical address, but you could set yourself up as a service-based business. And that means you could work with people online. If you're a coach, you could have, like, you service 50 miles in your city. And so you could be getting local traffic to your website through Google business profile. So you don't get as much attention as if you did have a physical address in your city. But that is something I've seen. You can get like 100 people a month coming to your website through Google business profile. We've had clients that get 1,000 people coming to their website per month just through their Google business profile. That means someone locally was looking for them. So I'd say first focus on getting found locally, because if you can't, let's say you're a business coach, if you can't get found in your city for business coaching, people won't hire you in your own city or your neighborhood or at the organizations you go to. It's going to be so much harder for you to get clients to find you nationwide or in another country. I see you smiling. Are you agreeing with me?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You have to do the work somewhere near you. Actually, this is important. Now we know that, for example, online is different. You can drive, like on a website, you can drive international traffic, but on a certain level, like local business or local SEO, it might be, let's say, less competitive. That's another angle for someone to start at, right?
You got it. It's definitely less competitive. And you want to know what are those keywords that we call the money keywords. The money keywords are the keywords that people are looking up, those searches on Google, they're looking up because they want to hire someone. And most likely when someone is searching, they're looking to hire someone within the next 30 to 90 days. When they go into Google, people go into Google and they type in problems they're having. They want to solve their problem, and people aren't going to Facebook to go solve their problem. Most of the time they're bored, so if you have something really cheap, you could get someone with an ad, if you have something really low, but if you have something that's higher ticket, like you're a coach or you have a course, Facebook could be great for you, but Google or blogging or doing some YouTube videos to drive traffic to your site, that could be even better. And that's what we've seen, because I mean, I have friends that all they did was Facebook ads. And last year when Facebook shut down for that day, I know people that lost $7,000, $10,000 on that day because their Facebook ads were shut down because the platform was shut down. So I believe in having a firm foundation. So having a foundation that you can't just rely on the platform, or you can't just rely on referrals coming from one source, because at any time that could be turned off, shut down. And what are you left with? Well, if you have a website and email list, you'll be pretty good to move to another platform or do something different, stay in connection with those people that are following you.
Exactly. So do you believe, like, for example, having a website is essential nowadays? It's a must. And of course, trying to build this email list, because like you mentioned, when, for example, Facebook, Instagram, these social media website, when they went down, they stayed for hours, I believe. Like, so a lot of people were hit with that. So it's important to have a website, and in this website have certain elements in the website that convert the visitors into, let's say, a subscriber or a client. So what do you think is the best way to turn someone who visits a certain website into a subscriber, do you think?
Yes, I think when you send someone to a website, websites typically have lots of places you could go to. You could go to a blog, you could read about a service, you are showing your education, your accolades, you're showing all these things. And so websites can be very confusing for someone for the first time when they come to your site. I believe on your homepage of your website, you can have a simple, just have a homepage, an about page, a contact us, a blog. That's pretty much it. That's all you need. Maybe a service page if you have multiple services, but those are really the pages that you need. And on that homepage, there just needs to be one call to action, one thing to do. So like in our case, and if you are like a consultant, a coach, probably you get people to work with you because you get on a phone call, you get on a Zoom call. So if that's how people buy your services and get to ask your questions, well, that needs to be your direct call to action, is schedule a call and have your Calendly link or whatever your scheduling software is, like 7 times on your homepage, have that button in between each section. So it's very clear, to work with you, I have to schedule a call. Or if you're an e-commerce store, to buy from you, you have to shop now. Like, it's very clear. It's not passive, like learn more. Like, of course, I'm wanting to learn more. I'm clicking on your website, reading blogs, but you want direct call to actions that tell people what to do so they're not confused and they know what step to take. Okay, first I'm going to schedule a call, then I'm going to pick a package, and then I'm going to grow my business. Like, it's very clear and simple of what to do.
Yeah. So now, what do you think is people doing wrong with their websites? Besides that, it's not clear, there's no certain call to action. One of the, for example, marketing strategies that, let's say, elude businesses or online businesses to do multiple things, like there is a lot of things to do, social media, blogging, a lot of video marketing now. So in your own perspective, what is the most important one of these? So does it depend on the business itself, or should a business go all out on everything, doing blogging, video, and social media with different types like Instagram or TikTok, or these kind of things?
Yeah, so I think it does depend on the business. There are some industries that SEO it's too expensive. It's not going to work. Like for most realtors, if you're a realtor, it's going to be really hard to do SEO. Now, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but if you're doing SEO, you really want to have a team, and there's a specific strategy to do in your city to get ranked. But some cities, like I'm in San Diego, I had a good friend that wanted to hire us, and she wanted to hire us to do everything, help her with all her marketing. And we did the research and I was like, it's pretty much impossible to do what you want to do and just show up on Google for that because of all these big guys, Zillow and Redfin, all that. So there are some industries, but typically when you do contact, like let's say an SEO company, or you contact someone to do Google ads for you, they're going to do an audit, or even a website designer, they're going to do an audit, and they're going to tell you most of the time, they're going to look at your competitors in your city. Or if you're just work nationwide, you may know 3 or 5 websites that you love. And then they can tell you, like, we had a dentist that wanted to quit SEO services and do Google ads because his other dentist was doing it. And so we did an audit in his city, and we were like, for you to switch to Google ads, you need to spend $5,000 per month. Now this dentist was spending $500 per month for some local SEO. But he didn't know. He's like, well, this is what my friend does, but your friend's in another city. Your friend, there's the different people, competition in the area, but for your area where he lived, it was gonna be $5,000 a month. We're like, we don't recommend you doing this. That's a lot of money. You could do that, but that's a lot to be spending when you're trying to save money as they're going into like a recession, most likely. So I think looking as for social media, since I know so many people like, gotta go to the influencers, we gotta do social media. Like, my opinion on social media is you just have to look like you're open on social media. Like, there are influencers that get paid for ads. I mean, I have a friend, she told me yesterday, she's making 8 videos. She's making $31,000 to make 8 TikTok videos. Okay, she's an influencer. And I'm like, that's amazing. I am so excited for you. Am I on TikTok? No, that's not what like I want to do. I'll cheer her on. I'm so excited for her, but she's getting those brand deals. And I'm like, if you have that personality and you love making the videos and you love doing that, I personally don't love doing that. And so we just look like we're open on social media. And in the past with fitness, yeah, I did all the videos. I did all that. I worked really hard on it. But I think you need to check and say, what do you love doing? And then you can also analyze how many sales are coming through the platform. So if you're podcasting, writing blogs, YouTube videos, on your forms, when people want to work with you, you can say, how did you hear about us? And someone may say social media. I've never had someone say, I found you on social media, even though I do the hashtag strategies. I do the things that we're all taught to do. But I can figure out if someone came through blogs. I have people write that down on my form. It's like, oh yeah, I read this blog from you. And then I sign up for a call. I get that frequently. And so that's why I love SEO. I love blogging and creating that evergreen content. Because on social media, I mean, a tweet is only good for 15 seconds, right? 15 minutes. I don't know the status, something like that. I mean, an Instagram story is gone within 24 hours. So if you want evergreen, it's like podcasting that can be up. People can listen. I mean, I binged 200 episodes from podcasts I really like and gone back years. Like because I really loved the podcast and I listened to all of them. And so same thing could happen with the blog. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's focus a little bit on blogging. So what ideas do you have, for example, to create title ideas, for example? And as we know, SEO is whether it's like international, let's say, or national or local, like you do. So it's competitive in a way, right? To certain level. So how do you come up with the ideas, for example? What type of blog post do you write? Like you mentioned, evergreen. So there are in SEO, what I know, there are what they call long tail and short tail, I believe. So these kind of things. And you also mentioned earlier the money keywords. So how do you come up with the titles to better convert when people search for them and go to the website? Also, at the same time, do you believe that people should make people go to a certain website, to a blog page like we're talking here now? Or is it better from your experience, if you are a little bit involved in this, talking about funnels, like going immediately to a page where they subscribe immediately and get their gift PDF or video training or whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, so we have a team of writers that works for us. And then I have one writer that works personally for me, and she helps me with our two websites that we have. We have one for our agency, and then I have a personal brand website. And so she helps me to write and work on the emails that go out from that and the social media posts. So I have one person dedicated just to me. So we do a little different strategy based on my strategy versus my husband that is working on 30 clients, like in our team. It's a little different than what he does, but I'll share what we do for our company, because it's more of an online marketing approach, because we're an agency and we work with clients all across the US and even in some other countries, versus what we do for our clients is only local. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So what I was looking at hiring a second writer for me, because Google wants you to be consistent. They want to see you be posting, and Google also wants, if you're writing a blog, they want to see at least 1,500 words. That's why doing a podcast interview, you can talk in 30 minutes, you can get over 1,500 words and then format it so that it can be a really great blog post. But what has been working so great is writing down a list when you're on a sales call and writing down all the questions that you get. Now, there are tools out there that can record your sales calls if you're using Zoom. I forget, I don't use it. I just learned about it. It's called Phantom. It's free, and it can record your call. And what it does is after you get a email, and it's broken up based on the questions that were asked. Okay, so that's an easy way to get a list of the questions, because if you keep repeating yourself on sales calls, it would be great if you have that content on your website. Even if only 10 people search for the keywords that are in that question you're answering a month, that still is 10 people. I think it's worth it to write a blog, even for 10 people, if that question is going to help lead them to a sale, to hire you. So they, the guy that I'm hired, so the second writer to help us, because we want more content to go out. So now I'll have two writers working for me personally for our two sites. He told me that he writes for following the strategy from this book. It's called You Ask, We Answer. I think that's the name of the book. You Ask, We Answer. I'm reading it right now on Audible, but they go over this strategy in detail. And I'd already been doing this strategy. Like I said, I started blogging in 2009. So I learned about, some people call them these response posts, questions. I already was writing these because I'm like, I want to answer people's questions because I'm tired of repeating myself over and over. So why don't I record something or write something to answer their questions? So I was doing that back then, and then lots of people do it, but this book has been really good. And they go more in detail of how to, so they'll have blogs of like 100 questions people have asked. So I'm looking forward to working with this new writer, because he's going to implement the whole strategy of that book into our personal business. So I don't know how that looks. His first day is today. So we'll be seeing, it takes typically 9 months for Google to rank a blog, but I'm really excited to try out this new strategy and see, is following this book going to bring in more ideal customers and that are ready to buy from us, versus the blogging strategy that I've been doing the past few years for our sites. So I'm always testing things out. So I'm really curious. So
if you don't test, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of testing, what are some of the best habits that you personally, by yourself or with your husband, are implementing on a personal level that are keeping you, let's say, motivated or energized to do the work every day?
So what gets me energized, I'm in San Diego. So right now it's summertime over here, and it is hot by the afternoon. I do
It
not want to
is.
sit in my office and work. No, I want to go to the beach and go paddleboarding or go on a bike ride. It's just so much cooler to be outside and have the wind blowing. So what motivates me, even to start meetings at 6 a.m. on some days, is in the afternoon when it's hot, I'm going to go outside, either go to the beach or go do that. So that's been really helping me. And I think that's the top thing. I really like getting outdoors, and there's many years where I would close my blinds and I wouldn't even watch the sunset. And we can watch the sunset. And I now 7 years into business with my husband, we have so many more boundaries around our time. And so we have like a much better lifestyle business than we did. But there was many years I didn't watch the sunset. I skipped my meals. I didn't drink water. I didn't exercise, even though I was a fitness person. But like I said, I had chronic pain. So it was painful to walk even 10 minutes at times. So now I'm just really thankful that the chronic pain is gone and I can move my body and I can do all these water sports this summer, which has been really fun. So that's what I'll be doing after this. I'll be doing something at the beach.
Awesome. So what do you think that some of the resources and tools that you use personally or for your business that would benefit someone who's starting to building their online business website or blog, for example?
Yeah, so we like WordPress websites. So I know lots of people, when you're just getting started, you like to use a self-host or a hosted website like a Wix or Squarespace. So a lot of people get started there. I really like, and you can do some SEO over there, but I really love it. Even my first website, I built it on WordPress myself. I just followed step-by-step tutorial. It didn't look beautiful. It looked pretty terrible, but it worked fine. And I didn't have money to invest in 2009 a lot to build a fancy website. And so I just started small like that, and it worked. Was able to make a living from it. So I really promote that you build your a foundation, build your site right. So if you see you having this business for the long haul, I'd say build it on WordPress. If you are going to be doing SEO, I think that's the best place to be. And if you are on WordPress, we like to use this plugin, this SEO tool called Rank Math SEO. So the old one was Yoast SEO, but 2 years ago, we thought that it was worth the money and time to pay our team to move all of our clients over to Rank Math SEO. So we really felt like it's better. And it also what I like about it is you can also see, if you hire a team, you can see what your team is doing. So if you're like, that agency didn't do any work, I paid them all this money. And that happens all the time because it's confusing. What does a web developer or graphic designer do? And what do you mean it took you 10 hours to do that one little thing? We don't know because we don't do that job. But with some online tools, they can help hold your team accountable, and you can see step by step what you did. We had one doctor client that did not want to change over. But so our web developer who does some of the SEO updates had to create a spreadsheet and document every little thing that we did, and was so irritating. So because with Yoast, you can't see what all was updated. And it's harder to give the report. So it just was a lot more work. And so those are the two tools that I really love the best.
I love WordPress. Despite I'm not the expert on it, but to me, if there is something I don't know, I will learn to do it. I don't like the website that you mentioned, that they have this kind of a frame for it. If you want to build some kind of a website, you need to know what goes on the back scene, I believe. So WordPress is for that.
Yes, absolutely.
So as an entrepreneur and business owner online, so what do you think that certain things that you are not good at?
Yes. So I I am big on not doing the things that I'm not good at. So I like the personality test called Strengths Finder, and it tells you what your top 5 strengths are. And when I took that test, my husband, most of his strengths are relationship building. That's why clients rarely ever quit, because he is so big on relationships and taking care of our clients that he's amazing with them. For me, most of my strengths are influencing strengths. So that's how I became a fitness influencer. Like, they're just natural abilities. Like, I want to give, I want to help people. I love being on podcasts. I love doing sales calls, which a sales call, like, isn't just selling the whole entire time. I'm teaching, I'm listening, I'm getting to know, I'm strategizing. So I love doing those things. So in February, I took some time off and just to decide what's next for us. And in that time of, going to the beach and praying and figuring out what was next, I realized, I was like, I'm already successful. I'm already smart. I don't have to keep doing what I've been doing these past 7 years. And I decided to cut back to 5 to 10 hours a week. So I had to change my schedule and say, what does it look like to only work in our company that many hours? So right now, all I do is do podcasting. I already told you I don't really do much on social media. I will post and promote other people's things on social media. That's about it on socials, promoting other people. And then I do sales calls, and that fills up my 5 or 10 hours a week. And then the rest of the time, I've been able to learn, take on other hobbies and learn other things like around finances and investing. Because if you are making all this money in your company, but then you're just spending it on your personal stuff, I think you will not be set up for success. Even right now, I'm hearing experts say you really should have 6 to 12 months saved right now. If we're going to go into a recession, and like, whoa, 6 to 12 months in your business account, like, whoa, that's a lot of money. I mean, and most people have debt. And like, so I think the timing was good. I didn't know what was going to happen with the economy and stuff, but to be able to pull back it's been really nice. And my husband loves it. He feels so proud that he has a semi almost housewife. Like, we don't have kids yet, but that's another thing that we would love to have kids next year. And so I'm just setting up my life and my schedule to like be a stay-at-home mom and take care of them, and starting it now that I can still work, 5-10 hours, and we can do it. Like, yeah.
Because you're working like the book of the 10 first 4-hour work week, you're kind of at that place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
it's totally possible. It can happen, but it took 7 years in this one company to get here. And I had 2 of us working really hard for 7 years. And so, but it's definitely possible. So keep hanging in there, keep working and making your dream come true.
So it might need a little bit of time, but it could happen. Yeah. So what would you say, one takeaway for the SuccessGrid Nation to take from this episode, from your opinion?
Let's see, one takeaway. Man, I shared lots of things today. I'd say the one takeaway would be like, fill up your time with the things that you really enjoy doing. If you don't enjoy doing social media, just look like you're alive over there. Post once a week. If you love blogging, then do that. If you love podcasting, doing YouTube videos, do that. But I think every business needs some kind of content strategy, something that you're doing on a weekly basis. And that is going to help you with your marketing, with your sales, with getting more customers, building your company. But you don't have to do all of them. You can just pick one to do. And if you do it for a couple of years, you don't like it anymore, you can switch to another one, then go for that. But I think it's worth the time to keep, to do like what you like. And when you first start your business, you're going to have to do lots of things you don't really enjoy. I didn't enjoy creating citations for all the review sites manually. I did that for years. I didn't enjoy replying back to reviews for our clients. Like that wasn't fun for me to do, but I did it for years because I needed to do that stuff. But then it came to a point where I could hire someone to do that work for me. And so that was really great to make that happen. So hopefully that can be encouraging.
Yeah, so it's important to focus on one thing, because me personally, when you are doing multiple things and you're putting your focus here and there, you get scattered, you get shattered even. So it's not that good to focus on multiple things. It is better to focus on one main thing, and you will achieve what you're looking for, right?
Right,
So,
I agree.
So
one thing, focus on one thing.
So where can people get in touch with you, Liz?
Yes, the best place, if you want to learn more about SEO and you like learning, I have a free mini course for 5 hacks to get on Google page 1. It's step by step. I tell you exactly the strategy of what to do. So if you don't have the money to hire someone, that's a great place to start. And you go to rebelfishlocal.com/5-hacks. And that's the best place to go to, but you could search for my name, Liz Cortez, and then I put online. So Liz Cortez with an S online. And I hang out the most if you are going to send me a message on social media, on Instagram or on LinkedIn. So those are the 2 places where if you have a question or a thought and you want to reach out to me over there and just say that you listen to me on the SuccessGrid podcast. And that will be really, really great.
Awesome. Well, Liz, thank you for being here today with me in this episode. You give us cool tips on local businesses. Hopefully people, if they want to grow their, especially local businesses, reach out to you and on your website. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you.